good. Someone out there gets a boner when they hear that cold wine.
I did not.
Coil wine.
Yes. I didn't spend as much
correct,
time with
actually.
SMT Apocalypse as I wanted. It's sitting on my table.
You could emulate it on your computer
Probably.
at 4K.
Probably, but it's a
You
3DS.
could. Maybe you can.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll keep it nicer.
So,
Do that art justice.
you guys can turn your brains off for the next 20 minutes.
You know what?
It was a patch, wasn't there?
No. I tried to engage with this, Stu, and I got shut down for it.
Okay.
I'm going to engage with whatever your topic is.
Okay,
I'm here for you, buddy.
So the topic is Pat.
You fucking
Yeah, but then don't tell me I'm using
Okay.
the wrong
I didn't say
recipe.
that.
All right.
I never said
Wooly, do
You
want-
implied it.
I never did. I asked what you had, and then
Girls.
All right.
Let's- Yeah.
So Wooly, now you get to talk to me about patch 3.4 for Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, hold on. I would like to try your stew. It sounds good. You're a good cook.
Well, there's none left anymore. Not for you.
Oh!
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, there's no meat left in any of the other
Oh,
Tupperware.
seriously? They're like all vegetables.
It's all
dude?
vegetables,
But
and
it-
the
but
last,
it's- but
and
it's
the
got meat
last,
broth
and
on
the
it,
last two is just broth.
Just broth?
So I'm gonna have to
Is that
put more
stew?
ingredients.
Is that
in
just
the-
soup?
Oh, no, I'm gonna put
Is
more
that
ingredients
soup?
in. It's just soup.
It is soup.
It's not
That's just
stew
soup.
anymore.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put more ingredients back in those.
Because,
ones.
like, if stew has no meat in it at all, is that just vegetable soup, like very hearty vegetable soup?
it's
it
like
depends
milk
on
is
how
just
thick the
soup.
broth is.
Right. Okay. So, like,
I guess
if
so.
it's thin, it's soup. But if it's like
Thick.
if it's like
make
gravy
a thick
thickness,
soup.
it's
Yeah.
stew.
and of course, stew only tastes good if you're tasting it in 4.
And if you grab some full
Yeah.
like vegetables, you got gumbo. So I don't know.
Could go a lot of places.
Then you get a stew going.
I'm super hungry for stew now. Like,
Yeah.
It's really easy to make.
I know, but
Except it's incredibly hard to get the portions right.
just why don't you just put a big meat in there?
Meat's good.
A big
big
meat.
meat.
Single.
Take out that water.
Yeah.
All right. So what was in the patch?
All right, a bunch of shit was in the patch. Many of them not worth mentioning because they're MMO improvements that you would expect. They added aquariums. They added apartments for people that can't buy houses because housing. There's a land baron thing going on with that game. Any MMO that has limited housing, there always ends up being a land baron thing where rich players somehow acquire all of the plots
Well, are these-
and hold them over the server,
Yeah, that was always a thing with different games.
no
But
matter what it is.
So are these quality of life patches at this point?
No, every patch
They're
has
not things people are requesting.
No, they're both. There is both quality of life stuff, so they added a bunch of interface stuff. They added a new controller support option where
That's good.
where you can have, instead of 32 buttons to press on your controller, you can kick it up to 48, which makes a big deal because some classes have too many buttons for controller users.
Sure.
There are 32 that you could normally use. Some classes have 35 abilities, and it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to do my stupid ninja bullshit if I don't even have enough buttons? Well, what you used to do is you just put some on your keyboard.
Yeah.
And just reach over and do that fucking barbarism.
But they deleted 3 moves then. That's the right answer.
That will totally happen in the next expansion. Mark my words. WoW did it. Every MMO I've ever known does it.
Eventually.
They add more abilities with every expansion, and they hit a point where keyboard users don't have enough keys.
Is the WoW thing where the default layout is a thing of the past, and everyone has custom menu displays for how much your shit is on screen?
The UI
going on in
is
this
the
game as
UI
well?
is really customizable, and everybody's UI that I've ever seen looks very different. Everybody moves their stuff around in different ways. You can trick hotbars into displaying cooldowns and shit. Like, the main thing to note is that in 14, you have your fucking controller bar, and as you level up, those will fill up naturally. You have to change them because they fill up into garbage. They fill into nonsense. Like, they end up with, like, combo moves being like, this one's on the left D-pad and this one's on the fucking Y button and stupid bullshit like that. But there are a combination of quality of life and content patches. They added the new raid and they added a new trial and they added a bunch of things like the aquariums or the what have you and the controller stuff. The interesting thing is about what they've done with that new raid and stuff, and the biggest problem they've had for the past year is that everything they put at the end game was way too hard. Way too hard. And everything they put in the middle of the game was way too easy.
So why is it interesting?
Because they've just toned it way the fuck down so that normal human beings can play it. They had you judge these kinds of things by a clear rate. You go, by the end of 2 patches, which is how long a raid stays viable, how many people actually cleared it? Is it like 1%? That's terrible. That means that most of your server population doesn't even play it because it's too hard.
Or care.
So you want to have that 5 to 20, and they've made it so much easier that like the crazies, you know, the weirdo Europeans that just play 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
They beat the whole fucking thing in a single day, or 3 of it in a single day, and then the 4th one 5 days later. But everybody else, normal people, this will take them a couple months.
The clear rates for video games in general are way lower than I thought they were.
Yes, like whenever you look at achievements, you get to see like, oh wow, only 35% of people even finish this game.
Getting there.
But in an MMO where that piece of content is supposed to be the thing that keeps people playing for 4 months, if it's so difficult that most people don't even attempt it, they get bored and they unsub. So that sucks. So this is a massive improvement. That's pretty much the most interesting thing. Like, it went from the trial where you get your new weapons and all that fancy shit. It took my group of people like a month to get the last one. It took us one night to get this one. And then we could just move on to all the other stuff.
So
that
no
we
time
wanted
at
to
all.
do. Like,
Oh.
and the way that the reason why the old stuff was so much harder is that you had a situation in which you have 8 players, and they all get a little circle on them. And if you overlap any of those circles, the entire raid dies. So if anybody moves to the bad spot, everyone's dead. You start over. So you just play that over and over, and you do your 3-minute thing until you get to that hard part, and then Jimmy fucks it up, and then you all die, and then everyone starts to really hate Jimmy a lot.
Now, are you going to run into the problem where, because you guys are such super pros...
We are not.
Because you guys are such super
This
pros...
just in, Pat is a super pro.
All right, fair enough.
That the easy shit is now not interesting or not as fun to do.
No, the easy shit stayed easy. And you do that to get the stuff you need out of it, and then you move on to the harder stuff.
But the dumbing down of the new content...
No, the people who are actually super pros, they don't complain. They go, oh cool, we beat it, and everyone think of it as top level fighting game players, Wooly.
Oh, yeah, I've already done that. Like, Urian comes out and he's too hard to use, everyone drops him.
Right. And you get a situation where they make, remember when SF5 was dumbing down inputs?
Yeah.
This is very similar to that. And most of the top players were like, oh, that's cool. Or that'll be nice that it doesn't, but then there's a couple that are just psychos about it. Say, no, it needs to be 1 frame links. It needs to be this. But the loudest...
3 frame links for everybody. What is this? Fucking...
But the loudest people who complain, the loudest group that complains about that is the people who are shit at the game, but want to think they're really good because
They're shit, but they know about the ideas of
they're
the top level
garbage.
play.
Like, everyone that I've ever heard complain, like, oh, the raid's so easy, we're gonna beat it in 2 months. Like, did you ever even beat the first floor of the last one? Well, no, I mean, we're working on it, but... Well, shut the fuck up, you dumbass!
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's moved from one person makes one mistake, everybody dies, start the thing over, and you're learning it in like 35-second chunks, to if you fuck up, Wooly, you get a little debuff, and that makes it harder for you to stay alive, and then you continue the whole fight, and then you hit the end of the fight and you didn't do enough damage or whatever. But that single change in encounter design across like pretty much everything results in way faster clears, a lot more fun.
And you're not ruining everyone's day.
If like, I should pull up the fucking chart to show you where you have to stand in on some of these, and if anybody's off by a pixel, it's death. That was fun for no one. No one wanted that.
Yeah. It's interesting because a parallel that I'm experiencing recently is like playing games with teams, Overwatch being the current one.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this.
I'm
not used to relying on other people and what it feels like when you go into a pub game. And like the level, like it's anti-fun. It's not even that it's like this was worse than it usually is when I have my friends. It's the opposite of fun, and it makes it like I wouldn't have spent money if I didn't have friends to play this with.
There's a version of that in 14 that has actually gotten worse with this patch. Because the new thing is easier, you trick yourself into thinking, well, I can do it. I know I can do it. And my team isn't doing it right now. So I'm going to go into Party Finder and play with randoms, right? And I bet we can do it. And you're wrong. You can't.
Yeah.
Because that one guy is so bad.
Yep.
And you can see that it's that person. You can see that if that person was not here or replaced with somebody better, I would have won this match or cleared this floor or whatever. And that feeling is the worst.
And
it is someone on your team taking the win out of your hands.
And so, like, we made the mistake of, trying to sometimes tell the person, hey,
no!
Could you maybe do the thing this way or not do that thing that's making everything go bad and terrible? And what happens is sometimes you'll get someone decent, but 85% of the time you get someone who just is a shit that just either says nothing, does nothing, or actively tilts because you think that they're bad and they're like, you think my Reinhardt is shit? And then, like, you now have a tilted shitty fucker that's gonna, like, throw the match, basically.
The most common one that you see in 14 is tanks that don't use any of their defensive cooldowns.
Sure.
And then they die.
Yeah.
And then when they die, the healer goes, can you please use those? And he goes, just heal harder.
Yeah. Oh,
just heal harder.
Attack Hanzo, attack Bastion, Torbjorn. Yeah, you're doing that. All right. We'll roll
Just
with
heal
it.
harder.
That's okay. We'll do it.
Or DPS that attack the wrong targets and the tank doesn't grab them and they die.
And you're not focusing on who you're supposed to.
Wow,
it's literally the same terms, actually.
No, it's like
DPS who's not taking out the person.
The DPS who decided to attack that guy over there instead, and that guy just focuses on him and he dies in a millisecond.
Yeah.
He goes, guy, why didn't you heal me? It's like, attack the primary target. Attack that.
Yeah.
Why did you because stop.
No, my scissors is gonna cut through this rock.
It's gonna do it.
Yep.
No, see, any game's mechanics, they're all gonna be different in some respect, but any team-based activity, the shitbirds that inhabit that sphere are the same between game to game.
Yep.
They're selfish.
Yep.
They're rude. They didn't do any research on the thing that they think.
I mean, assholes are assholes, but some people just want to play casually.
And some people do want to play casually. And in 14 and Overwatch, there are places for those casual people, and that's in the things marked for casual play. Not in the thing called for competitive play, or the thing that is
for
like
glory.
the raid,
But I don't know, if I just want to go online and play as Pharah, like...
In competitive?
Wherever I want to play. That's fine. I'm allowed to play wherever I want to play.
You're allowed, but people are allowed to not like you for screwing up their game.
You can do that, but if your team has no healers,
I'm just saying.
You might...
I'm just saying. Not everybody is being a huge shitbird online.
No,
but the game.
Asshole,
but if you pick Pharah, and then the game has a flashing red text at the side that says you've got too many.
Well, no, I'm not
going
to do that. I'm not going to. I mean, I'm not going to do that.
But that's who we're talking about, not that.
Well, yeah, they're the shitbirds. That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. But some people just want to play
There's
casually.
about 15% of the people that you run into when they're turning the boss in a weird way or the night. You go, hey, could you actually do the shield before this and then this? And they go, oh, cool, I didn't know that. And then that's great, right? But it's the ones that go, no, I'm going to do it like this. And you go, but you're going to fail every time you do it like that.
Yeah.
Every time. Like, it's not like that's your style or whatever.
When I played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles with 3 other people, there was someone in the group of friends that was playing that refused to ever carry the chalice.
Look, I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Wooly. I'm not perfect.
There was someone that refused to carry the chalice ever, and not only that, but would push ahead to the boundary of the screen while the rest of the group was trying to survive together.
Yeah.
And that was your
and that
IRL
sucks, for sure.
version of this piece of shit.
I've got my favorite. My favorite. It's in 14, and the mages in that game, the black mages, they do fire spells, and they run out of MP, and then they switch to ice, and then it regens their MP, right? And ice does like half the damage, and they flip-flop. That's their mechanic, right? There are people who played WoW, and in WoW there's an ice mage spec, and then came into 14, and they just, oh no, I don't use fire spells, because I'm an ice mage.
Yep.
And you go, but that's not how this game works at all.
You do have those.
You're supposed. No,
bro.
No,
I heard you.
I heard you,
but no,
I'm an ice mage.
Nah, though.
and
you thought.
And
I heard you. You thought.
But why aren't you playing
Fuck
WoW?
off, asshole.
Nah.
Because WoW sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're making this game suck.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So that's a joy. That's a joy. That's a treasure.
But that's something also, like, when I play Overwatch or any, like, team game like that and I'm playing solo, like, when like, there's clearly a group.
There's the inverse of
and
this.
they ask me to do something.
Yeah.
It makes me want to quit. more than anything else. Cause
Wait,
I don't wanna
when
play
you say
with them.
ask, do you mean like politely or like shittily?
No, where they're like, hey, do you think you could do this kind of thing or whatever? It makes me want to quit because I don't feel like I'm reliable and I feel like everyone's just waiting to attack me because I won't be able to do what they need properly.
Huh.
Okay.
Wow.
And it makes me extremely anxious.
Okay.
And it makes me want to quit right away.
Interesting. Because that is...
Like, even if it's polite and nice.
Even if it's polite, it's because I don't think I'm reliable enough for what they need. And that anxiety of letting someone down makes me want to quit right away.
If you feel that way, then you should not.
Yeah,
play that.
what...
Well, no, and I quit and I enter a new match.
What'll end up happening? Well, if it's a
Usually
comp match, then you quit. And
No,
everything's
that,
fucked. But
I don't quit that.
because there's a really shitty thing that
Or
happens.
quit super fast.
Well, here's what
That's
happened:
fine.
is one person like disconnected, and then it was like you're now in a 5v6, and then it's a fucking. It's like you can do that maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
if you're on point. But one of these fuckers goes, nah, fuck this, man.
I just immediately bails.
And now you're 4v6 and you're super
That's
fucked.
unwinnable.
Yeah, no, it's
And-
never, I never quit because we're losing. Like, no. I always finish matches. But I mean, like, at the beginning of the match, if there's people trying to tell me to do something, like, during character select, I'll be like, no,
if
no.
you're walking into a comp match and they're like throwing down like the football plan of like, okay, so we're gonna take left, and you're like, okay, I'm not on board for this.
I'm just gonna turn
I'm
around
gonna
and
go
get
into
another
the
match. Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I do think though it is reasonable when like, you like, they'll be like, hey, okay, we've got an Anna, we've got a Zenyatta. Hey, do you have a Lucio? Do you know how to Lucio? No? Okay, then I can do that, and maybe we can, like, you try to sort of figure it out.
Yeah, no, I can't say I've ever had that experience where someone's going back and forth. Like, I've only had stuff where it's like, play this, and it's like, I really don't, like, no. And
There's
like, I
there's
wanna
also
play as fast, so I'm gonna back out and I'm gonna
there's
go
also
play
the
somewhere else or
completely
something.
inverted version of that, in which in 14 when you put up an ad, so let's go do this thing in Party Finder, there's 3 terms. There's learning, there's clear, and there's farm. Those are pretty self-explanatory, right? Learning is, okay, people in here don't know it, we're gonna make mistakes, we're gonna spend the 2 hours to figure it out. Clear is everybody kind of knows what to do.
We want to finish it.
We're just going to try and get our one clear.
Yeah.
And farm is not you cleared it once.
You know it back to
farm
front.
is you got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
Right.
So when you go into the farm
You
party,
should never be losing in
and
farm,
you're
yeah.
against the new battle called Sophia. Sophia does a tilt mechanic where there's no walls to the arena and the whole thing tilts. So if you're not standing like far enough to one edge, you fly off the side. If we get to the first one and 5 party members just shoot off the side of that platform, leave immediately,
Right.
because that is just going to be a waste of your
You're
fucking
gonna waste
time.
another half hour on nothing. Yeah.
half hour, 90 minutes.
Well,
Because-
like,
because, you know,
the worst.
At the end of the day, like, no one should dictate how you play the game that you just purchased.
Yeah.
But there's wiggle room for, we need to talk about what we have going in.
No, for
because
sure.
we're going to lose without a healer.
Yeah, no, I all I mean is like, I don't, like, if you walk in to play something, say, regular fighting games aren't a good thing, but say,
Yeah, because you'll just get blown up. And
no,
that's that.
exactly, it needs to be a team.
And Overwatch has
thing.
quick play in it,
But
too.
like,
Yeah.
say Melee had online, and you went to play online, and the other guy says, "Hey, you need to pick Fox so you can so you can help me."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, I didn't want that. I just want to come and play teams for fun, you know?
Right.
Like,
And
there's no 1v1 Overwatch. It's the only
quick play is
format,
where you
know,
just do whatever you want.
I
Yeah,
play
and
quick
that's
play
it.
like
Yeah.
99.9% of
Same
the time.
here.
'Cause,
it's funny because the things
more
that
fun.
I prefer Overwatch quick play because I don't have the patience or the tolerance to do this kind of thing for Overwatch.
I prefer competitive, but that's because like I like the way team composition meta is shaping up.
So here's a good example. You remember the argument I had with Billy about the Dragoon thing way back? Okay, so way back when I first started playing, there was a guy in our free company that started to yell at some new player because he was in a later dungeon and he didn't have his job crystal, similar to what Billy had. And the guy didn't know. He just didn't know. He didn't get to that point in the game. And the dude was being a piece, like an asshole, like a real asshole. We got rid of him because he was an asshole.
You're being an asshole. You're being an
Right?
asshole.
And there's a clear distinction between stuff that is easy enough that who cares. You being a dick about it is a way bigger problem than this person not being optimal. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, which is maybe 1% of any particular patch's content, which is like, listen, if you're not serious, you can't complete this. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah,
And-
there's
and-
actual.
Or you will not win this game of
Like,
comp.
and you come in and it's like all you're doing, and I get it. You want to play how you want, but all you're doing is guaranteeing a loss for everyone else.
Yeah.
And if it's
100%.
that specific, it's like, and I don't know how to do it politely, because it's like you either have, like, please take this seriously or leave, because we're trying to take it seriously. But it's going to the fucking paintball game and just getting hit and going, no, I'm still in.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's, well, and again, like, thankfully, like, there's a division of modes in the case that the context I'm talking about. But if there isn't, it gets a lot rougher because, like you said, that guy does want to play the way he wants to and have fun, but, like, you are guaranteeing a loss.
And the large teams in this are groups of 8. So you're guaranteeing a bad time times yourself times 7.
Versus AI is always there.
And it's whenever that happens, all I can think about is like, God, I love how pure fighting games are.
It's all on you.
It's my favorite part of fighting games.
all on you.
Fighting games, racing games. I don't play racing games, but it's the same idea.
It's me. It's my problem. And that's it.
And that is somewhat like, I came away feeling that high too, where I'm like, I kind of miss how much it's all my win, my loss.
Yeah.
They should
Nothing
force
in between.
fighting games to be teams only.
There are encounters in
they
14 in which, like,
Definitely.
you can do your job perfectly the whole time, but because somebody didn't do enough damage, you lose.
Yeah.
And that feels like the most impotent,
It sucks.
worthless thing. And it's like, well, why did I even show up?
Yeah.
Why did I even show? It's infuriating.
And that's what's happening
learn.
with your 6 men on
and that's
the
why
Overwatch
in
mode,
Overwatch or in MMOs, you immediately, like, once you deal with that for a little while, you're like, I need my people. I need to find people that I can fucking grab and trust and know well enough that when they fuck up, I can be like, hey, asshole, you fucked up. Don't do that. And they go, fuck you. And then they don't fuck up.
I'm playing scissors and I'm cutting the shit out of this paper.
Yeah.
But you need to keep that rock off of me.
The rock will, no, you don't.
It's coming. Can you deal with the rock?
Make him stop.
Paper, deal with the fucking rock.
Is Rock, Genji in this series?
Rock is fucking Hanzo.
It's Hanzo.
And Paper is Winston.
Yeah.
And Winston is like, nah, I'ma just go over here and die. God, it was so bad. Anyway. So does that sum up?
That sums it up.
Right.
The last thing is that my girlfriend went down to America and picked up and brought to Canada to live with us is her cat Elmo.